2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7, 8, 9, 10.
Anyway, I wanted to show you guys a really, really neat trick that I found a long time ago in a galaxy far away. And it's using percentage values to position a box in relation to its parent, your mom. It's Mother's Day. Did you know that? On Sunday, it's Mother's Day. And, you know, Mothers have Sunthers and Dotthers, and we should celebrate that with a little trick. Okay, I have a HTML element and it's height 100%. I have a body element that, well, inherits that height in a way. So let me say inherit. And I have a black background and display grid and place item center. Place item center is a shorthand that's available from display grid that says justify content center, so that's the horizontal space, and align item center, so that's the vertical space. Less words, more coolness. And I have a monther here, your monther, or my monther, all the good monthers. 50 vmin is saying take the smallest value when compared to the width of the browser and the height of the browser. Position relative, because I have a child, a sonther or a dother, and I want that child to be position absolute. So to make sure that it's relative to that parent, say position relative. And I have a border, 2 pixels, dashed, white. And my sonther is 40 pixels in height, 40 pixels in width, and it's a hot pink. Ooh, that's a hot pink. I love hot pink. And a border top, 4 pixels, solid green. And that border will come into play. I just want you guys to see where it's going. If I specify position absolute and I say top 50%, well, where does that get me? That's actually the top edge of my hot pink container is along the center line of monther. If I were to say left 50%, it would be the top left corner of this hot pink box is right on that center point of monther. You see where I'm going with this? It's a little bit goofy, but if I were to say transform, translate, negative 50%, negative 50%, well, what does that do? Weird. It wasn't based on the width or height of the parent. It was based on the width and height of my child, my sonther. And we can use that trick to sort of get us anything that we want. So if I wanted this to be at the very bottom edge of my monther, I could say top 100%. And that uses the vertical height of my monther to position this pink box. If I were to say left 100%, it would get me all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. But you see, I specified top 100% and then left 100%. So it's the width and the height of the parent. And look, the top left corner, oh gosh, is right along that corner point. So we can keep going with this. What if I wanted to use the bottom as the origin? I could just say bottom 100%. And if I were to see the result of that, it's right at the bottom. It's nice and flush along that edge of my monther, and it's right on that corner point. Now this can get me a whole bunch of stuff. What if I wanted to create an arrow for, let's say, a tooltip? I'll let you think about it for a little bit. Origin, center point, da-da-dee-da-da-da-doo. It would be left 50%. Now, it's sort of off center. I don't quite want that. I want it to be right in the center. So what I could do is use transform, translate like before, and just along the x-axis, move it based on the container, not or based on the element itself, not the container. So top right, bottom left is based on the monther, and translate is solely based on the center. Now this doesn't quite get me a arrow, but if I use that for the Y position, it's getting close. So what I'll do is I'll put a rotate -45 degrees to get that little arrow look. And what does it get me? It's sort of off. I don't like it, it's weird. Well, the order of transforms is extremely important. So what this is saying is translate first and then rotate, which is not what we want. It definitely changes if I were to change my order. Boom! That gets us exactly what we want. So let's get rid of this border so we can see more of what's going on. And that looks like a pretty darn good tooltip if you ask me. And the most important thing about this is no matter how big this center is, no matter how big this monther is, it's always going to scale just right. If I wanted to change the size of this, no M's, no Rems, no Bems, no Mems, no Huns, no Ins, it scales perfectly. If I change the size of my monther, boom, it scales perfectly. Oh shoot, girl. And no matter the size of my browser, it scales perfectly. And you can do this for a lot of different things. And the other tougher thing about positioning is when you have text involved. That's where it gets pretty tricky. You sort of have to leverage transform origin and all this other crazy stuff to get the same effect. So let's put didgeridoo, part of the didgeridoo monster hunters. It'll get a little bit weird. I will take off the height and the width. Let's just let it roll. And I kind of like that being black. Okay, weird, right? Well, yeah, I got my transform mixed up in there. Cool, so you can see it's sort of maintaining the same behavior as before, but the container's a little bit wider. If I use those same behaviors, cool, the top left is right along the corners, right on the center point, good. If I wanted to get this didgeridoo right along the top left edge, I'd have to do some trickery, and I want to show you guys that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get it up there. So I would do bottom 100%. Weird, right? I mean, that's 100% of the height. Shouldn't it like go crazy? Well, when I say bottom 0, that starts to make sense a little bit. Bottom 0. So you're really redefining where the bottom is. Bottom 100%. Boom! Right up at the top. That's what we need. We want to get it to the top left. But not just the top left. I want to rotate that sucker a lot. And to do that, I would need to change my transform origin. I would need to say at the bottom right corner, would it be right? Yeah, because if I did right 0, boom, all the way over there. Now I need to push that all the way over 100%. Whoa, not that 100%. 100%, boom, push that over. Okay, sort of getting there. I mean, it's the bottom right, but I haven't done any transforms yet, hence the quirkiness. So my transform origin will be defined at right bottom, right bottom, right bottom. Yeah. X is right and left. Y is top and bottom. Your X and your Y values. Nothing happened. Well, yeah, I didn't put my transform on there, sucker. So I gotta put on, oh gosh, what is it? If I put on 45 degrees, that wouldn't get me what I want. Yeah, that's a 45-degree angle. If I did 90 degrees, that would get me exactly what I want. And with this kind of power, you can put that didgeridoo anywhere along the square. I mean, like anywhere. So let's say, what if I wanted to mirror this? How would I do that? Now, I like to delete everything just so I know where it's starting, and it helps me center myself. I want the left-hand side to push over 100%. Okay, it's basically flipping it. I'll say bottom 100%, boom, up there, and the left-hand side, 100%. Perfect, awesome, okay, and my transform origin would basically be the opposite. It's left bottom. Yeah, so now it's the bottom left point. If I wanted to rotate it, again, I wouldn't do 45 degrees. That wouldn't get me what I want, and it's not negative either. I want 90 degrees. Boom, yes, perfect. And if I wanted to center this along the bottom, maybe like there's a dividing line and you want a little bubble pill looking thing to be right along that dividing line. All right, let's try that out. So how do we do that? Well, I want it to be on the bottom, so I have to think top. And I want it to be in the center, so I'd have to think, don't do that. Don't do it inline. Okay, 50%. It's not quite getting me what I want, but if I center that sucker using the width of itself, I sort of get closer. So the first value is your x-axis. Perfect, it's in the center, yes! And the next value is the y-axis, so based on the vertical height of your didgeridoo. And there you go, you did it. It's right along that center point of the dividing line. And maybe there'd be some text below that, or however you want. And to change this up, what if I wanted to have this at the top? What would I do? Well, I would say bottom, 100%. Oh, no, that's not it. It would just be top 0. Whoa, I'm getting too ahead of myself. Yeah, perfect. There you go. So you can see where I'm going with this. If you take hold of the nature of top right, bottom left, meaning you utilize the width of the parent, the mumther. You utilize the vertical height, the height of the mumther for your top right, bottom left. You can position that didgeridoo relative to your mumther. And you don't have to think of like, oh, how like wide is the mumther? It's 50 V min, so I'd have to do top 50 V min and all this stuff. No. And if you utilize the width and height of your center, your actual element, with transform translate, you can combine those two elements to position it anywhere you want relative to the mumther. Thank you, mumther. Thank you, center. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any ideas or you want to learn more about CSS, let me know. Down below, that's where it goes, down below, and that's what I heard. It's down in the bottom, it's not up top or to the right or the left. Happy Mother's Day. Hope you have a fun one. See ya! Till the next time. Let me see my baby's belly. Oh, my baby. Let me see my baby's belly. Oh, the baby. Oh, my baby's belly. Oh, my baby's belly. Oh, the good girl. Let me see my baby belly. Oh, the baby belly. Oh, the baby belly. Oh, the. Oh my goodness. Happy Mother's Day.